Why do most men relate to Batman more than almost any other hero? He has no superpowers, no enhanced strength, no flight, nothing supernatural at all. It's because he's just a man who decided to become his absolute best. And that's a psychological posture you can actually copy. The other guys with powers, you can't. Batman's entire method breaks down into 4 psychological principles. Most men only ever discover one of them. By the end of this video, you'll know all 4, and exactly where you're currently failing. Let's call him Marcus. Late 20s, decent job, tells himself he's got it together. Then one bad month happens, a relationship falls apart, a work project collapses, a friend turns on him out of nowhere, and Marcus realizes he never saw any of it coming. Not because it was unpredictable, because he never looked. Marcus is about to accidentally discover the same 4 principles Batman operates on. He just doesn't know it yet. Every other hero in Batman's world was born powerful, or bitten by something, or struck by something. Batman built himself. Every skill, every advantage, every win, engineered, not given. Marcus, on the other hand, had been waiting to feel ready, waiting for confidence to show up before he acted like a man who had it. That's the gap, and it has a name. Schopenhauer had a blunt way of putting this. He argued most people spend their life reacting to a world they never chose to understand, pulled around by circumstance, mistaking motion for progress. The people who actually get ahead do something different. They study the mechanism first, then they act. Marcus was about to learn this the hard way, through 4 principles in order, the same way Batman built himself, starting with the one that exposed exactly how much he'd been avoiding. Here are the 4 things Batman does, and that Schopenhauer and Machiavelli both separately argued were the actual difference between people who stay average and people who don't. Principle 1. Remove the element of surprise from your own life. Machiavelli's core argument wasn't be ruthless. It was the person who prepares for every outcome controls the outcome. Batman has a plan for every ally turning on him. Not because he's paranoid, but because he refuses to be surprised by anything he could have anticipated. Marcus's version of this was smaller and more embarrassing. He'd ignored 3 separate warning signs before his falling out with that friend. Comments other people made, a pattern he noticed and dismissed twice. Not because the signs weren't there, because acknowledging them would have meant preparing for a possibility he didn't want to be true. Batman doesn't get that luxury. Marcus decided he didn't either. He started asking himself one question once a week. What am I currently pretending not to notice? That single question surfaced more useful information in a month than the previous year of just hoping things would work out. Principle 2. Detach your identity from the outcome. Schopenhauer again. He argued suffering comes from attachment to how things should go. Batman doesn't need to win a specific fight to know his methodology is right. That detachment is why he can take a loss without it breaking his whole approach. Marcus got this one backwards at first. After the work project collapsed, he treated it as proof he wasn't cut out for the job. One result read as a verdict on his entire identity. That's the trap. One result almost never proves anything. It's the pattern across many attempts that tells you if something works. Batman loses constantly. He just never mistakes a single loss for a verdict on himself. Marcus started separating 2 questions he'd been treating as one. Was the approach sound, and did it work this time? Different questions, almost always different answers. Principle 3. Treat fear as data, not a stop sign. This is the part people misread as fearlessness. It's not. It's Machiavellian risk calculation. Fear tells you where the danger actually is, so you prepare for that specific thing instead of freezing generally. For months, Marcus had a vague, low-grade dread about his finances that he simply didn't look at. Not denial, exactly, just avoidance, dressed up as being busy. The moment he actually opened the numbers, the vague dread turned into 3 specific, fixable problems. Batman doesn't feel less fear than anyone else. He just refuses to leave it vague. Vagueness is where fear festers. Specificity is where it dies. Principle 4. Operate without needing anyone's approval to know you're right. This one's pure Schopenhauer. Most people quietly outsource their sense of direction to what others think of them, without ever admitting that's what they're doing. Batman works alone, gets blamed publicly for things he didn't do, and keeps going anyway, because his sense of whether he's doing the right thing was never up for a public vote in the first place. This was the one that took Marcus longest. He'd changed plans the moment two friends raised an eyebrow, not because they'd shown him he was wrong, but because the disagreement itself felt unbearable. Detaching your judgment from the crowd's approval is the hardest principle on this list. It's also the one that made the other three actually stick, because none of them survive the moment someone questions you, unless this one's already in place. None of this requires a cave, a fortune, or a cape. Marcus didn't become a different person overnight, and neither will you. It requires doing the unglamorous version of what Batman does, preparing for the outcome you're afraid of instead of avoiding the thought of it. Separating your effort from your ego, getting specific about what you're actually afraid of instead of living in a vague fog of anxiety about it, and trusting your own judgment even when nobody's clapping for it. That's the whole trick. It was never the suit. If this take on Machiavelli and Schopenhauer landed for you, I go deeper into both of them across the channel. No fluff, just the parts that actually change how you operate. Which one of these four are you currently failing at? Tell me below.